And here's a very special surprise. A first time client who ordered a process vid. That doesn't really happen very often since I started doing the process vids. So I'm 45 now, and I think it's only happened twice. So, and I also love when clients give me melanin rich characters that don't look European, because it's very rare to get that, and I love getting such characters. But in this one, I knew I wanted uh the mouse eye view, I think, but you saw me trying to figure out like where he was going to be pointed, because I wanted uh immediately. I know I wanted uh I mean bird eye view, and his hair for some reason. That's like because usually I just glance at the reference and I just try to focus on the first image that come to mind. And but sometimes it's like still abstract, and so I have to keep going and try different things very quickly, like back to back, like merging with each other until it starts looking right, even overlapping. And if a stray sketch line looks like it's looks cool, I'm like, oh, that's a keeper. So I work with accidents a lot. I try to, and just go with the flow. And I think I sometimes I just make sure I get the key points right. So they're humanoid and a male, and I had to check the rating first. I was like, okay, so it wasn't NC-17, and because immediately when I saw the ref, I was thinking, oh, it's NC-17, and sometimes I get mixed up, even though the order is right there, and because I try to be so quick with it, um, I immediately start coming up with the ideas once I see the reference, actually, and I just edit it and revise it according to when I finally look up the actual order, when I finally like pay attention to it. And so with this, at first, actually, his hand, it was like he was slightly rubbing his chin or something like that, and I hated his eyes here. I think I do change it later, but I remember while doing this part, I hated the face how I was doing it, and in here you see it's starting to look right, and there we go, and now I like it again. And it was just the eyes. They seemed too close, and with the angle, um, it's funny. Try to keep. I I'm very organized, but it's like it's as if I'm half organized and half mentally. Everything's compartmentalized mentally, and one of them is that if I know I've been having a weird time with a certain angle, um, I try to correct it all the time. With each new version of that angle that I know I have a problem with mentally, like it's mentally to compartmentalize into things to work on list, then I always try to improve upon it with each one I do. And, and you see here, I changed my mind. Uh, actually, while doing it, I was thinking, okay, maybe not have his hand under his chin and maybe have him smoking something. And but I realized quickly I don't know much about the character to know if he's smoking. And plus, because the client ordered semi feedback rain, I didn't have that freedom. to just add whatever. So like an alternate universe of the character, even if the character didn't smoke. If it was feedback ring, I could have been like, "Oh, alternate universe version of them, they smoke," and um, but it was semi. So I was thinking, nah, I shouldn't do that. So, but I still liked how the hand came out, even though it's still actually weird when I look at it now. But it's good enough for a sketch. And so I said if I could just keep going and see where it goes. And at first, oh yeah, here I did one thing, arm to be down, but I forgot. I changed it later, but at the moment, I forgot. And sometimes that happens, where the base sketch is one thing, and I get so I'd say I daydream while I'm working on a piece. Sometimes the daydream is about the piece itself, and sometimes it's like it's as if I'm working on autopilot, and that's when oh right, I wanted this. It's not this, but you see, I change it later. And another thing with this angle bird eye view that I've been wanting to perfect is the so I believe I like how I do the torsos. That's fine, and the thighs. So the knees up to the on top of the trapeze, the shoulders, collarbone, and is I'm fine with that. But it's below the knee where sometimes it looks weird, and I have to redo those the most. And then the face, because I want to show more of the face and not have the nose over the lips to be too far um, bird eye view. So I've been trying to find the balance. Not so much bird eye view, but a little, like not exactly, not so far high for the bird eye view. I want a certain forward but up type angle. And oh, the eyes. See, the character has eyes on their shoulder, and at first I was thinking, I didn't realize they added the pattern fee, and I was thinking, would this count as a pattern? And usually, first time clients they don't add it, and even though sometimes it's clear that it should, and but I tend to let it slide, cause first time clients I know my setup is weird as shit compared to most, and I know, as far as I know, I'm still the first and only who takes commissions through a store, so I know that can throw people for a loop. So I try to be understanding with that, and I try to condition myself to expect at least one or two mistakes with at least a first time client. So, because I'm very picky. I want everything to be just right all the time. Even though I don't say it, and so a lot of my thoughts are very mentally based because I see no point in sharing it unless it is an issue. Then I feel it's my fault. I have to change it. I mean, concerning the orders. I mean, um, so that's where I look to first into making sure it reads correctly, like the information. And sometimes it is, and it's just that person how they interpreted it, or it's me and I change it and hope I lessen the confusion in the future. It would never be perfect. I accepted that a long time ago, but it'll. But I just have to work to minimize at least the questions because no one should be asking me questions. Like that's how clear it should be. But anyway, um, so I really like his face now, and so with going back to the pattern, um, this is one of those things where if it was one of the first pieces, I'd be like, okay, it may not need a pattern. But if it was later, when I'm exhausted and tired, I'd be like, all these eyes, this needs a pattern fee. So that's why I usually leave it up to the client, where it's like, that's why I describe it as, if you think it'll be a pain to do, add it. And but I'm glad this client added it. That it seemed fair. And so, and I fit, and even while I was doing this, I didn't remember that they had the pattern. So I was just saying, I'll just let them know in the email. And and okay, so here is where, so even before when I was lining, and I decided on um, the hand to not be under the chin, and to not have a cigarette or a blunt or something, I decided to have just some smoke coming, because I wanted the balance. And I've been really noticing how most pieces I've been seeing lately, not my own, well, yeah, outside of my own, have been, it's as if people have been ignoring the negative space. Like they've not been using it correctly. Because you just, if it just was blank, it would be okay. But I mean, with this piece, so if I left it blank, it'll be okay, but it still feel like it's missing something to me. So I wanted to add something, and I and I only just barely glanced at him with the powers. So and that's where the idea came from. Like I said, I just try to do a quickie peek at the reference and just make sure I keep it straight and just make changes as I go. And so here's, I think no, no, it looks fine with the so with negative space, it's just a balance of the pitch of the piece, where it's where when you look at it, it just doesn't seem like it's tilt. It's hard to describe balance, but I just know it when I look at any piece, where I could tell where if the balance is good, or if it just sucks. And lately, it seems like most other pieces balance have been not. So I try to make sure I get that right with pieces. Actually, it could have been to the side more. Ugh, sketches. There's always something that could be changed. Thank you. Bye.